Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. Joining me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And sitting in for SDA tonight is the Lord of the Munchkins, Weebo Jones.
I thought I was Lord of the Dicks.
I changed it up a little bit.
Dick Graysons.
Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And I'm your host, Scribe, Lord of Words. No, I don't know. That's the first thing that came to mind. How are you guys tonight?
Good. I got to pop some pills real quick. Hang on.
Monkey, the drug addict.
I forgot this part of my day.
We also have our first offering in the potential of pun of the night. Point Curation says, I've turned into a Syrian dictator because I feel Assad. We also have our first set, I should say set of ad requests tonight from William Savage. Thank you so much for your generous donation. He's requested and paid for 4 ads. One, a trailer based on The Burgling of the Golden Dawn by Aleister Crowley. 2, Penn and Teller-ish show based upon Reginald Scott's discovery of witchcraft. 3, a cookbook for euthanasia-sourced people meat. And 4, an Ed Gein line of home goods and furnishings. William Savage is one morbid mofo, is what he is.
I think he and I will get along very well.
Speaking of all that, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, please hit that like button if you have not done so already. And if you like the stuff that any of us do, including our guest, including SDA, including me and Monkey, please share it, far, wide, and otherwise.
Indeed.
Let's see. Do we have anything to talk about, plug, and or mention before we get into the news?
Couple of things. Lady Monkey was just on with the Minions of the Zoo. They went early today, so if you guys would like to hear her, she joins about 40 minutes in because they'd invited her on and she said yes, but she thought they were going to be at their regular time. She just kind of stumbled onto the fact that they were actually going already. Tomorrow night's show was supposed to be on my channel, but it's not going to be. It will be on SDA's channel. She'll be back tomorrow night.
Nice.
And are we doing a movie stream Sunday?
Maybe not.
Your call.
Yeah, I think I might want to push it off a week. I got some scheduling stuff that might conflict and make it difficult for me to both watch the movie and review it correctly with you. And so
cool.
Let's say next Sunday, if that works for you.
And yes, Bloodwing will be on with us tomorrow night.
Yes, that too. So yes, next Sunday, guys, sorry for the kind of last minute change, but next Sunday on my channel, we'll be reviewing the best movie ever made, The Hunt for Red October. Let's see. And Dark Shade, thank you. Black Friday sales make my wallet cry. Yeah, we got a story about that I'll be reading shortly. Did either of you have any Black Friday adventures today?
I didn't today. We went out last night after eating. So we did Black Friday shopping, just not today.
I went this afternoon and nothing of, interest happened to me, which is the way I like it.
Okay, no. Let's see. Chat, save your Black Friday stories for chat time in the last half hour of the show, because I'm sure we'll be interested to read those as we go along. But otherwise, yeah, it's not even SDA's night. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, SDA's been on vacation for Thanksgiving with her family all week. She will be back tomorrow. And because she's showing up on Saturday, we're going to do the show on her channel as a switch around because she's been absent the week. So it's not SDA's night, obviously, and it wouldn't be on the regular schedule otherwise. But hey, I get a terrorist attack to cover.
Yay! Wait.
Yeah, oh, wait. Okay. Egypt hunts for killers after mosque attack leaves at least, underscored least, 235 dead.
Damn.
Fuck.
Let's see. The Egyptian military kicked off a hunt for the attackers of a Sufi mosque in the northern Sinai, a military source said, combing the area of Friday's assault that killed at least 235 people, thought to be the deadliest terror attack on the country's soil. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, and I've got cops in the background, okay, vowed to respond to the attack on Al-Rada mosque with brute force. Some 109 others were injured, the media reported. No one has claimed responsibility, but the strike bears the hallmarks of an attack by ISIS. The mosque is known as the birthplace of an important Sufi cleric. Sufism is a mystical branch of Islam that some ultra-Orthodox Muslims consider heretical. Let's see, the key developments that they've listed. It was a coordinated attack. Gunmen fired on people fleeing after explosions took place at the mosque between Bir al-Bed and the city of Al-Arish. The attackers also opened fire on ambulances, witnesses said. The target, the mosque, is known for being the birthplace of Sheikh Aid al-Jariri, a Sufi cleric considered the founder of Sufism in the Sinai Peninsula, and the president has vowed to restore security and avenge those killed. So these guys, they blow up the thing, and then they shoot at the people as trying to escape, and then, of course, the emergency services arriving to try to help. Thank you, Sanguine. Research ad, historical epic about Benki. Okay, another one I'll have to do a little work on. Thank you, Sanguine. And then, let's see. Thank you, Donald the Repentless. Here you go. Nothing clever to say. That could be clever, depending on the context. But thank you. So there's not much more about the event itself. It's just the reaction by the public and the international condemnation. Donald Trump said, horrible and cowardly terrorist attack on innocent and defenseless worshippers in Egypt. The world cannot tolerate terrorism. We must defeat them militarily and discredit the extremist ideology that forms the basis of their existence. Well, that last part might be a bit tough to do since it's been around for thousands of years. I'm not going anywhere.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't try.
No, it doesn't mean we shouldn't try. But they're still hunting for the guys. No one's claimed responsibility, but there are hints it is, and it was obviously very, for lack of a better word or a more sinister word, it was professionally done. It was absolutely very planned out and staged to do the most damage. Let's see. So we'll keep an eye on that one. The next story I have is sort of a postscript to that video that's been out for the last day or two of the guy trying to escape North Korea and being shot at.
Oh, yeah.
So what we have today is North Korea replaces soldiers and digs trench at defection site. North Korea has replaced nearly all the soldiers along the border where one of their former comrades defected, a South Korean lawmaker said Friday. How much you want to bet that those replaced soldiers will likely never be seen again?
Yeah, probably.
Earlier, both the South Korean military and U.S. forces in Korea told CNN they could not confirm the claim about the replacement by lawmaker Kim Yong-woo, chairman of the National Assembly's Defense Committee. The status of the soldiers is unclear. The change comes as the North Korean People's Army sought to prevent other soldiers from defecting by planting trees and apparently digging a trench at the section of the demilitarized zone, according to the Charge d'Affaires, it's French, I don't know, at the U.S. Assembly in Seoul. Mark Napper, the highest-ranking official at the U.S. Embassy, tweeted a photo this week showing North Korean soldiers supervising what appears to be the planting of 2 trees and the digging of a trench where the North Korean soldier dashed across the border.
Wait.
Yeah?
They planted 2 trees?
At least they're going green. Yeah.
I guess as a deterrent? Like natural barrier? 2? That's all they could afford, maybe? I don't know.
Shit.
It is North Korea. They don't have enough money for more than 2 trees.
I didn't mean to interrupt there, but when they said planted trees, I was expecting, like a tree line, not a pair.
2. That'll throw them off.
I'll better than none.
I'll tweet out the story real quick. If you scroll down, you can see the Instagram post or where the hell it is, or the tweet that shows the picture of the 2 trees. It's 2 trees in a trench that you could just walk over. It's pretty pathetic.
Oh my God.
It is. That is some kind of that is some dark comedy there. Honestly, look at that.
Doesn't it look like the one dude is back?
Yeah, that's You could jump across that hole. It's not a trench. It's a hole in the ground. It's like a flower pottery line. It's for God's sakes.
I've dug deeper holes than that.
Thank you, Snubber. An ad for cats in memoriam of my precious cinnamon gold who lost her battle to liver failure today. Oh, Snub, I'm sorry.
Snub, I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry, I'll cook something up. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a cat person. I was raised by cats.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay, so I'll try to cook something up for that. Okay. Ad for cats. All right. Well, like I say, I'm a cat person. I can cook up something for cats. Sorry about that, Snub. Hopefully we'll give you something to laugh about later when it's not trenches in North Korea.
I feel like trenches in North Korea is enough to laugh at. That picture is sad.
That is so pathetic.
It looks like they're actually like building one of those. I don't want terrarium's not the right word. But like for an outdoor mall where they put trees there.
Well, see now if they wanted to somehow erase the memory of that event, why would they pick trees with no leaves? I mean, they picked dead trees to put up to try to block the view of the site. Well, you've got pine trees and conifers and shit. Why don't you get a couple of big, huge pine trees and just replant them? That is so stupid. And look, I mean, right next to the trench, there's a fucking sidewalk. It's not like the guy could just walk on the side of the building. I mean, oh no, that trench is just so insurmountable.
You know what?
Oh my God.
We might be looking at this the wrong way.
Okay.
Maybe that trench and the trees are to help dodge gunfire.
Fuck.
It's a fox, yeah. Anything in a foxhole goes, right? Okay.
Giving people a fighting chance.
All right, well, there you go. Drunken Uncle says dead trees matter. It's true, they do. I'm sure that in the springtime they will blossom beautiful leaves that will hide the shame of North Korea's security forces.
Hopefully.
Let's see. Well, that
they can build intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Yes.
But they can only manage 2 dead trees.
Yes.
Hey, at least something.
In a hole.
Now we know where to send people for stormtrooper training.
Hey, when all of your money and resources goes into military and weapons, you don't have time to pay for a gardener. Okay, you got to
Jack Cochran.
What's Jack Cochran?
Jack Cochran says that's a Weebo-sized foxhole.
Fuck you.
It's someplace for Weebo to hide.
I've dug deeper holes than that.
You've what?
I've dug deeper holes than that.
Is that a euphemism for something?
Yeah, it means that I've dug myself into holes with the way that I speak and all that jazz.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of something dirtier, which is hard to do when you're talking about dirt. Anyway, bad joke. Let's see. And again, aside from that stuff, not a whole heck of a lot happened today. So consequently, all I've got left are a couple of sort of opinion pieces, which in any other context would pass for deep topics from the root, except that they're published on legitimate, quote unquote, legitimate news sites. Thank you, Cryptic. Guys, digging trenches and planting 2 trees requires at least 50 pounds of dog meat. They're still chasing them down. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you for that.
God. So the first one comes from our friends at CNN. I think I've read an article from this author previously on a similar subject. Her name is Peggy Drexler. But the headline is, "Are men really clueless about sexual harassment?"
Oh, boy.
I think we're pretty good at it.
We're very conscious of how to do it. A bad joke apparently is enough. 6 weeks after the first stories broke, alleging that Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein engaged in decades-long... Okay, decades-long is one word in this publication. There's no space between decades and long. It's just decades-long. Thank you, CNN. I know. I understand I should not be surprised. I just want to keep pointing out their incompetence, because that's funny. That's funny to me.
You're expecting high quality?
I don't know what I'm expecting anymore. Decades-long pattern of sexual harassment. He denies it. The list of men accused of similar acts keeps getting longer. Some offer denials, but others offer more nuanced, quote-unquote, explanations. Charlie Rose, for example, apologized but added, "I always felt that I was pursuing shared feelings, even though I now realize I was mistaken." Senator Al Franken apologized too, but Michigan Representative John Conyers only offered through a spokesman. The former staffer voluntarily decided to drop the case, unquote. Pixar's John Lasseter apologized and said, in part, "No matter how benign my intent, everyone has the right to set their own boundaries and have them respected." Meanwhile, the Alabama Republican Party has reiterated its support of Senate candidate Roy Moore, who faces allegations of sexual abuse. He denies them. And the number of women accusing former President George H.W. Bush of groping has reached a whopping 8. Responding to 4 of the allegations last month, Bush's spokesman explained, and she puts that in quotation marks, that Elder Bush, quote, has patted women's rears in what he intended to be a good-natured manner and apologized. For the most recent allegations, he offered no comment. All right, now we're going to get at the meat of this article now? I suppose so. These and the many other men against whom allegations have been made, some quite a bit more serious than patting women's rears, are all ambitious, smart, powerful men. I don't know about the smart part, but anyway, surely men whom one would think might know better than to behave in this way. In some instances, famous men are alleged to have forced their tongues into an unwilling woman's mouth, or man's mouth, if we're talking about Kevin Spacey, walked around, or George Takei, walked around naked or pulled out their penises to show around. So why do they do it?
Right.
Well, lady, if I have to explain to you why human beings express themselves sexually, sometimes stupidly, then I don't know what to tell you. And why are there so many, as was proved by the viral Me Too campaign? Yeah, that's done so much. Which saw hundreds of thousands of women sharing their own stories of sexual assault. The problem is rampant. Sadly, less an expectation than the rule. One possible explanation points to a deeply ingrained, hard-to-shake, and society-wide sexism that teaches men that women are less dominant.
Okay.
Many men and women... Okay, go ahead.
I can prove women are less dominant. If you try to stick your tongue in my mouth, I will bite it the fuck off.
And you think that I wouldn't do that, Monkey?
Well, the women in these cases haven't, so that's what I'm just going with I'm more dominant than you, yo.
Okay.
To be a fair counterpoint, none of the male victims of any of these guys, or the alleged victims, did a whole heck of a lot in the ensuing decades to defend themselves.
Don't go using arguments that are logical.
I know. I hate that. I mean, if we're only talking anecdotally, yes, Weebo.
I said thank you.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Less dominant. Many men, and women for that matter, still believe men do the asking out and the chasing. Well, they mainly do. Often, too, the paying for dinner. And they do. I mean, I don't know if there's been a study to say otherwise, but let's see. Setting aside the flat-out predators who walk among us, this misunderstanding of men's roles... It's a misunderstanding of men's roles that they pay for dinner?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Roles.
This misunderstanding of men's roles may lead some men, especially those in the throes of sexual attraction, to let their desires override their intellect and their knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. Yeah, because women never do that. It never happens to women that their sexual desires or emotional desires override their reason and they do stupid and or violent and or illegal things. It never happens. Never happens.
Well, they don't have penises. It can't happen.
I know. They can't be dominant. I mean, we have to understand, it's a misunderstanding of women's roles that they would ever, act out violently in the throes of passion. Or
they wouldn't do this.
So, but do we want women to be more dominant, but also want them to do their own thing and pay for their own shit? Or you can't have both.
It would, here we go. It would be nice to imagine that in the current year, or in 2017. No, she says in 2017. I'm just, saying it is.
Same thing.
Yeah, sexism is an outdated notion in the mainstream. You mean like accusing all men of being fucking flawed like you're doing right now? by any chance? Maybe
That's in the mainstream. What are you talking
Well,
about?
not like that. Of
not like
course
that.
not.
That's the wrong kind of sexism.
Oh, God. After all, this is the same culture that created not just The Bachelor, but also The Bachelorette.
Equality!
Times have changed, right? As Harvey Weinstein put it in his official statement, quote, I came of age in the 60s and 70s when the rules about behavior and workplaces were different. That was the culture then. And yet there's so much, capital letters, so much evidence it's the culture now, too. We've only got to look at the defeat of a highly qualified, highly prepared, definitely female presidential candidate by a less qualified male opponent. Fuck you.
I was just going to say.
Suck my dick.
Hillary Clinton sunk on the merits of her own flaws, not on the greatness of Donald Trump. She screwed herself left, right, and center from the beginning of her career. Okay.
Well, let's be honest. The only reason she did as well as she did is because of sexism.
Yes.
Because veg.
I mean, what was her campaign slogan? I'm with her. That was her message. That was it. It's like, I'm a female, so you're with me, right?
No.
Okay.
We share the same genitals doesn't mean that I agree with you.
Another explanation of the problem of sexual harassment, and one that similarly has roots in sexism. Yeah, because can you separate sexism from sexual harassment?
Maybe.
Maybe, I guess it's possible, is that we still have a hard time defining or agreeing on what constitutes sexual harassment and assault. Now, it's not that tough, because if I say something to you, it's not necessarily assault, because I'm saying words. If I say something or do something in one instance, it's not harassment, but it may be assault. It all depends, but it's not like, yeah, exactly. The ambiguity of what people say is harassment now. You know, somebody makes a joke with a sexual connotation within your earshot is not sexual harassment against you. You know?
Yeah, doesn't it require intent in order to be sexual harassment?
Well, if you're going for a criminal case, you have to prove intent. If you're just going for a violation of human resources rules or work conduct rules or anything else, the bar is a lot lower. But at the same time, to actually have I guess we're talking more about the legal standard, because you know being accused of sexual assault is something completely different than sexual harassment in the workplace or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a criminal charge of harassment against somebody for like stalking them or something else. I don't know if sexual harassment is a crime per se, depending on how you do it. You know. I guess it would depend on the circumstances.
Well, harassment is a crime depending on the persistency, the severity, and the extent to which it occurs.
Right. You'd have to prove a pattern of behavior that exceeds just like a one-time deal or something.
Yeah, exactly. The law is actually pretty sketch depending on, because every prosecutor has their own interpretation of it and their own threshold for evidence and what counts and what doesn't count. So it's
like if I call your cell phone 7 times within a day, but you don't answer, is that harassment? Exactly. Well, see, I've heard the argument made before that simply calling somebody's phone repeatedly constitutes harassment.
Oh, then my grandma's harassing me.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, this goes on, and there's not much more to this. It's just more...
Men are bad.
Yeah, men are bad. We have to teach men how to behave better because they're naturally blah, 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 blah. And lastly, before we get into the wonderful world of MSS news, a Black Friday story that popped up, or I should say a Black Friday commentary. And this comes it comes from the Washington Post, because the Washington Post, of course, is the source of all news when the rest of the news companies are too lazy to do their own work. Written by Luke O'Neill, who I've never heard of before, but has a very impressive beard. Black Friday brawl videos are how rich people shame the poor.
No.
What?
What the fuck?
I don't know, but we're about to find out.
Fuck is he talking? Okay, sorry.
Oh, God.
About to shame some fucker.
This first sentence is amazing. In connotation to the headline, here's the first sentence. One of the biggest recent movie franchises in the country is The Hunger Games. in which the ostentatiously wealthy people of Panem's capital rule over the poorer districts from which tributes are selected each year to kill each other in a violent media spectacle. It's a grotesque display in which the lives of the impoverished are offered up as entertainment for the comfortable. It's hard to see the film and not think of the way. It's hard to see the film and not think of the way. Nobody thinks of it this way except you. It's hard to see the film and not think of the way TV news has covered Black Friday. Consider the jocular hosts' grinning effect as they relate news of brawls throughout the country in this clip, and there's a link, from Fox and Friends, First Today, for example, or how... Wait, from Fox and Friends First. Is that the name of the show, Fox and Friends First?
Yeah, that's the name of the show.
Okay. The construction of it screwed me up. Today, for example, or how numerous websites will round up the best brawl videos. As Yahoo News writes on the spread of Black Friday violence to Britain this year, quote, that means even more grown adults fighting over discounted underwear and more opportunities for us to gawk at them, unquote. Or take this video of a fight inside a Houston Walmart. You'll notice producers from a variety of television programs, Good Morning America, Fox News, CNN, all asking for permission to use the video on their broadcasts because they know this type of shopper-on-shopper violence is a huge draw.
Okay, so?
I'm curious to know how this person knows by looking at the people in the video that they are poor.
Oh, because they shop at Walmart. They have to.
Okay. Mixed in with those, perhaps unsurprisingly, are a bevy of comments comparing the shoppers to animals or savages or making horrifically offensive racist comments. Well, if you're going to beat the shit out of somebody over a flat screen TV, I would call you probably something in the animalistic range, regardless of what your skin color is, because you're fucking stupid.
Can I address that last sentence?
Of course.
Ridiculously offensive racist comments.
Are
there racist?
Oh, sorry, horrifically offensive.
Sorry.
Yes.
Are there racist comments that are, just like slightly offensive? I mean, I know we have the jokes, and those are fine. But is there some kind of like degree of
it's all on
racism?
It's all on a spectrum, monkey. I mean, everything's on a spectrum. Racism's on a spectrum. Gender's on a spectrum. It's all a spectrum.
Size is on a spectrum.
Shut
it, midget.
hell, Weebo's on a spectrum. Is she a tall midget or a short munchkin? You don't know.
Oh, I thought you were making an autism joke.
Oh, no. See, there are some things that never need to be said.
Okay, I'm with you.
Fuck you. Fuck you both.
Okay, let's see. Granted, that's par for the course on any YouTube video. Oh, yeah, I get tons and tons of racist comments on my videos. Don't you, monkey?
Well, today I might have.
Oh, okay. Well,
but normally, no.
Oh, monkey, how dare you offer up something to counter my... Okay. But on broadcast TV, this kind of gawking shows how lurid interest in these stories is connected to issues of class and race in America. Really? Really?
It's all
class and race. Who's making that connection?
Deluded people.
I could even give him the class part, maybe. Yeah. But where the fuck is the race part coming from?
I don't know. In a telling bit of irony, the former clip comes complete with a pre-roll ad for Black Friday deals. In other words, videos of the type of violence that takes place on Black Friday are being used to sell the shopping holiday back to us, the capitalist serpent swallowing its own tail. Oh shit, is this guy a communist?
I'm guessing.
It's hard to avoid the message of those ads. We've been bombarded with them for weeks now, from corporations eager to entice shoppers with so-called doorbuster deals. And then, once the shopping public falls for them, a privileged segment of the population sits back and dehumanizes them for its collective amusement. Yes, because rich people don't understand the value of a deal and never go shopping on Black Friday. Never happens. It's always poor.
Rich people are some of the most conscientious shoppers there are. It's rich people don't get rich just by making money. They often get rich by saving money.
Oh, yeah.
Just
oh, my God.
Yeah.
Look at these hilarious poor people, and you know they're poor because you just know they're poor because you know they're poor. Struggling to take advantage of a deal on something they might not otherwise be able to afford on items that we take for granted, we joke on Twitter. Who's we?
Apparently this privileged
Yeah, I've
white
never
fucker.
joked about
I mean, have you ever gone without, author of this article? I don't take anything for fucking granted.
Yeah, I am a poor people. I am a college student in college right now, okay?
Yeah.
I know all about this stuff. It has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with the fact that I'm a poor college student. I have no prospects at this moment except for, you know, the degrees that I'm getting.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, roles for being a munchkin in a Wizard of Oz remake.
Does it always have to come back to this? Just...
Yes.
I've got a limited amount of material because there's only so much of you to work with.
Holy shit!
That was good.
Well played.
That was man. I impress even myself. No, I was just gonna say, it's like, as far as taking things for granted. Well, everything that I have, you know, save for things that were like donated to me from family members or stuff that I found out next to the dumpster that people were throwing away that were perfectly good to use, bookcases and things, I paid for myself. And you know how I don't take things for granted? I've got fucking insurance. If I took everything for granted, I'm just like, it's always going to be here. It's never going to go away. The roof will never cave in. Come on.
Yeah, like for my entire life, I've always gotten clothes that were hand-me-downs from other people in my family. Like my first bra belonged to my mother before me, so that's how like appreciative I am of my shit. I used to go dumpster diving as a kid too, because you know you find all this cool shit, but also like it's free shit because most of it is pretty good and nothing's wrong with it. They just throw it away because they don't need it anymore. So yeah, no, I appreciate shit.
Anyway, let's see. The message is the same. This is shameful materialistic behavior, and by pointing it out, we differentiate ourselves, reaffirm our class status as being above the fray of the lowly and the desperate.
Who's we?
And why are they lowly? I mean, being poor is not a character flaw. Unless that's what you're saying we think they are, because you're projecting.
Yeah, projection methinks.
Oh my God. The exact demography of shoppers on Thanksgiving and Black Friday isn't clear. Well, then how the fuck are you making these claims, shitbag? Oh, Jesus Christ. It's not clear exactly what the demographics are of Black Friday shoppers, but we know if you see them in Walmart, they're poor.
My intersectionality.
Oh my God. Isn't clear, with the former being too new a trend to track, and it seems to have been changing over recent years with a higher percentage of millennials taking part of late, but studies have shown the shoppers are more likely to be non-white or single mothers. Wait, so if the oh, go ahead, sorry.
Why do the white people count if they're single mothers?
I just want to know, if the demography isn't clear, how are you making claims about what they are?
I want to know where he's getting the notion that this is a new phenomenon. This shit's been going on for decades. Yeah,
anytime somebody puts up a sale, people who want to save $1, whether they be rich or poor, will take advantage of that. The fuck are you talking about? This is all just poor people on Black Friday.
Yeah, and what the fuck is wrong with being frugal, too? I mean, come on.
Specifically, Black Friday has been going on for a long time.
Yeah, and if you're only looking here, and here's the thing, author, if you're only looking at, and I don't even know what you're looking at, but if you're only looking at stuff that happens at brick and mortar stores, you might want to take a look at the internet. Because brawls aside for the last flat screen TV, Black Friday purchases aren't just happening in meat space anymore.
True that.
As we've seen of late in the Ferguson-related how long ago was Ferguson now? 2014?
Yeah, it's been a while.
That was a while ago.
As we've seen of late in the Ferguson-related unrest, the physical struggles of non-white America writ large make for great television. What? I've seen dozens of variations on the obvious and racist pun in the name of the day itself today? Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, Black Friday is obviously a racial reference. It has nothing to do with the term in the black being about, having your bottom line balanced, in the red. Would you like Red Friday? Then you'd be talking about Native Americans or Russians, maybe. Would you like that? Or maybe since you're a communist, you'd like Red Friday. I don't know.
I swear to God, it's like I'm back in school now,
Oh.
in the middle of class, and I'm listening to my teacher dictate to me this shit, because this is exactly what she would say.
I'm going to start calling it Pat Friday.
But one thing we can say for sure. What do you mean we, white man? But one thing we can say for sure is that it isn't the wealthy or the comfortable who are standing in line in the cold or wrestling with one another over a slightly discounted Xbox. Are you sure? How do you know that?
You would be surprised, the demographics. Well, he doesn't know because
he doesn't know the demography. He already said he doesn't know idea. None of which is to say that resorting to violence over a discounted television or video game console is admirable. Of course not. But it's worthwhile to stop and consider just what it is that inspires such desperation in the first place.
A deal.
A deal and animal competition. I mean, don't get me wrong. The people, again, who would beat each other up over a discounted television set aren't quite right in the head in the first place. And I'll tell you what, people who aren't quite right in the head are across all classes, as I'm sure our seemingly communist author would agree. As in the world of Panem, an artificial scarcity is imposed upon the top down, imposed from the top down. Walmart, Target, and so on. Wait, is Walmart and Target the top, or is that the down?
Good question.
In order to whip the public into a frenzy of aspiration. Yes, I'm sure the retailers really want criminal acts taking place at their stores, and that's why they put sales on. That is their intent. They're trying to set up basically like a Roman Colosseum for our amusement. That's what Walmart. That's Walmart, Target, Kmart. Are Kmart still around anymore? I forget.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, all the discount stores, all the malls, even the stores that aren't Walmart. High-end places have Black Friday sales.
I have a serious question, actually.
Yes.
What kind of Black Friday deals do you think you get at like a Dollar Tree?
I don't know.
That's a serious question. God, what would a sale look like at a dollar store?
Are they just handing out shit for free?
Everything's 10% off.
Are they giving you money out of the cash register?
Let's see. Point curation. Thank you. I missed that. It was a $2 one. They don't post the notices on it. Hand-me-downs are greater than communism. That is probably true because you're spreading the wealth, you see, from the top down, which is so capitalist, yo. Well, anyway, that's all the quote-unquote news stories I had. Do you guys know of anything else before we move on to MSS Schnuzz?
No, I'm I'm impressed with that. That's I hate this world sometimes.
Oh, it's entertaining sometimes. Now, the one, and again, I would love if the one we read last night about the Florida Assembly or the City Council.
Oh, yeah.
That needs to be a short film. That needs to be like a short comedy film, word for word from the transcript. It's hilarious.
Did I miss something?
Oh man! Oh Weebo! If I find the link again, I'll send it to you. But last night during MSS News, we read the most hilarious story out of Florida. A mayor of a town in Florida came to a council meeting drunk off her ass.
Hey, she says she wasn't drunk.
Right, she wasn't drunk. She was just tired, whatever. And in the midst of yelling and screaming the most ridiculous things at her fellow city council members and county managers and things, her husband showed up to conceivably pick her up to take her home, and then he starts bitching out people too, and it's all on tape.
Yeah, and not just people. These are other these are the city council that she was
Yeah.
She accused one of them of being a drug addict.
When
So
it
they
was
were
known
probably
that she's been in rehab for like 8 years or something.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Thank you, Peter Silac Hades, or just Peter Hades, or the Peter. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to try to cover on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. We will do our best to get to as many as we can in the course of the stream. And please, when you send them out, do not tag us with our Twitter handles. Just put in the hashtag. It'll be much cleaner that way. Let's see, scrolling down a bit. Okay, a couple of people have sent us this one. ZSFE, I don't know how to pronounce that. If that's an actual word, I apologize. And Oska Tarkin Ironis, if I'm saying that right. They've sent us this one, which is actually a follow-up to something we read a few nights ago. Real quick, though. Sanguine, thank you. Add, televised Black Friday, where shoppers have to place in a fighting bracket to earn the items.
You know what? I would join.
That would be a pay-per-view for like a charity, I'm sure. Thank you, Sanguine. I'll work on that.
I'd fight a bitch for a TV in a ring.
Really?
In a ring, yeah.
A ring. Okay, as long as it's a ring, not an octagon.
Maybe a quadrilateral.
All right. So do you guys remember Medusa Magazine and that thing we read about was it Getting Rid of Men or whatever?
Yeah.
It was a total troll. It was a total troll. I was taken in until somebody said, you know, this is under the troll. I was like, oh yeah. Well, now this is a story from Medusa Magazine, published by Medusa Magazine itself. I don't know if it's real, but this is from their site right now, and several people sent it to us. The headline is, I created Medusa Magazine, and I am shutting it down because feminist stupidity has surpassed satire.
Which is not wrong.
Which is kind of what happened the other day when I read that story, because as I explained, I was led into believing it, because it started out the same as I would read on most feminist stuff, and then led up to whoppers at the end. But I'd already bought into it by that point, and that's why I reacted the way I did. Hello, readers of Medusa Magazine. My name is Redacted, and I own ageofshitlords.com.
Oh my gosh, I follow them on Facebook.
Before I begin, I just want to state that yes, this website is satire. It has always been and always will be satire. But I don't blame anyone for thinking otherwise. Myself and the fellow shitposters who operated and published articles on this website while it lasted pride ourselves on writing fairly believable satire with just enough retardation to keep our readers in constant doubt. This has been fun, but all good things have to come to an end. I am shutting down this website because recent events have proven to us that it is no longer possible to satirize the feminist left. To prove that this was a hoax all along, a couple of months ago when I first got the idea for this website, I posted about it on my Facebook page. The post is still visible on Facebook today. And the post reads, one of these days, I'm going to start a feminist website. I'll get a couple of shitlords together and we'll write tons of satirical articles, but from a feminist perspective, to make the site look more believable. It will be the ultimate social experiment to see how long it will take the feminists who follow us and the anti-feminists who oppose us to realize that it's all a big joke. Naturally, we waited a couple of weeks before putting our plans into action, but the motive remained the same, to create a website to satirize the far left and the so-called social justice warriors who infect it. Since starting the blog, our articles have been featured on several media publications like InfoWars, The Federalist, The Gateway Pundit, and several other websites that fell for our prank, including one Russian website that covered our article calling for white abortions as proof of how politically correct the West has become.
Not Russia.
But while everyone else was falling for our satirical articles, others weren't buying it. Some users of Reddit's r Kotaku in Action subreddit took it upon themselves to investigate and prove that the website was indeed owned by the same people operating Age of Shitlords. Also a special hat tip to the nosy writer of the blog Why Evolution is True, who kept pestering and gathering information to prove that this site was indeed a parody. But then again, they were only able to come to that conclusion due to my own personal clumsiness. As a general principle and for security reasons, I always use a fake name and identity when buying a domain name online. I just so happened to use the same fake name to buy MedusaMagazine.com that I had used to buy AgeOfShitlords.com a year ago. But and that's them. And they put that but in there. The rest of the deduction was easy from there. A few people made the connection between Age of Shitlords and Medusa magazine and concluded that the latter was probably just the owner of Age of Shitlords taking a piss. In my defense, I didn't bother hiding the Age of Shitlords Medusa magazine connection because I didn't expect the website to go viral so fast and as much as it did. But back to the original topic, we're shutting down our rather hilarious project because we can no longer compete with our competition. We have come to realize that our competition is not other satirical websites, but rather the people we are trying to satirize. About a week ago, after a short hiatus from the website and in light of the recent sexual assault allegations currently afflicting Hollywood, we put out another article titled, Why We Should Believe Women Who Accuse Right-Wingers of Rape More Than Those Who Accuse Liberals. Yep, that was the article that I fell for. The article is a total caricature intended to be as ridiculous as possible, basically, basically arguing that because liberals are good people, we should forgive them when they rape women. We thought no one in the world could possibly hold views as ridiculous as that, so we wrote it as satire and published it. So imagine our surprise when an actual feminist and self-proclaimed expert on rape culture wrote an article for the Washington Post, no less, using the same rationale and reasoning as our satirical article that was written just a few days before.
Oh boy.
The headline by Kate Harding on November 17th. I'm a feminist. I study rape culture. And I don't want Al Franken to resign. It would feel good, and this is the blogger. Oh, sorry, no, take it back. Sorry, I got confused. This is actual text from that article. It would feel good momentarily to see Franken resign and the Democratic governor of Minnesota, Mark Dayton, appoint a senator who has not, as far as we know, harmed women. The highlighted part reads, some will, if ousted, have their successors chosen by Republicans. In other words, if we set this precedent in the interest of demonstrating our party's solidarity with harassed and abused women, we're only going to drain the swamp of people who, however flawed, still regularly vote to protect women's rights and freedoms. The legislative branch will remain chock-a-block with old white Republican men who regard women chiefly as sex objects and unpaid housekeepers, and will show them how staunchly Democrats oppose their misogynistic attitudes by handing them more power.
Yeah, see, this was real quick. My whole problem with that Medusa article and why I have no shame falling for it is because we had already seen this kind of with Lena Dunham and so there was nothing. I mean, satire, there should at least be something to let you know there's satire, and there wasn't in that Medusa magazine article. There really wasn't.
The last couple of lines were so over the top that we should have known that something was wrong, but at the same time, like you say, this isn't completely out of the game of what we've heard for years now.
Yeah, and it's what we're reading in this article right now.
Yeah.
Or the clip of that article.
Right.
Is my understanding why they're shutting down the actual website, because they can't compare.
Yeah, it's like they're essentially the Onion at this point of feminism. And this is the final paragraph of the actual blog. And that is why we are shutting down this website, because there is no point in operating a caricature website of feminism anymore when real-life feminists are now more insane than any caricature we could ever dream up. If you enjoyed our content and are sad to see us go, then just go follow any legitimate feminist blog or any of the many obnoxious feminists on Twitters. Their content is the same as ours. Damn.
True story.
Damn. Well, kudos to Medusa Magazine, unsung heroes of proving a horrifying truth about where feminism has gone in the mainstream. You know, not some crackpot stuff, but stuff published in mainstream sources. Point Curation says, Scribe Light, all I want for Christmas is white genocide.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now, I wonder what happened to that professor, because that I believe Point Curation is quoting that that professor. God, I forget what the school was. But yeah, he posted a tweet one time that says, all I want for Christmas is white genocide. I'd actually seen him. He was actually in a video, one of Hagbard Celine's old videos, one of the ones that actually inspired me to do this stuff. He did a pair of videos on a professor of, I think, African studies or something, who was talking about Black Lives Matter. But she was introduced by that guy. And so when I saw his picture like 2 years later or whatever, I was like, oh my God, I've seen that guy in a video. So I wonder if he still got his job.
Probably.
Anyway, a lot of time on that one article. Sorry, guys. I'll move along quick here because we spent a lot of time on that one. Let's see. So let's find something funny before we. Oh, here we go. This is a feel-good story. This one comes from Peter Stewart. Woman raises more than $200,000 for a homeless man who helped her.
Oh.
Philadelphia, a New Jersey woman who was helped by a homeless man after she ran out of gas on an interstate in Philadelphia has raised more than $200,000 for the Good Samaritan. Dang. Kate McClure, 27, started the GoFundMe campaign earlier this month after she said she ran out of gas on Interstate 95 and a homeless man, Johnny Bobbitt Jr., this is not John Wayne Bobbitt, walked a few blocks and bought her some with his last $20. McClure said she didn't have any money to repay him at the time, but returned to the road several times to give him cash, clothes, and food. After a few visits, she started the fundraiser with the hopes of using the money towards housing and other expenses for the 34-year-old Bobbitt. Quote, "I wish I could do more for this selfless man who went out of his way just to help me that day," she wrote on the fundraising page. "I truly believe that all Johnny needs is one little break. Hopefully with your help, I can be the one to give it to him." Donations have poured in, and the fundraiser has shattered its goal of raising $10,000 for Bobbitt. More than 7,000 people had given to the campaign by Thursday afternoon.
Well, that's cool.
Wait, how much money did they end up donating?
Well, so far it's $200,000 or more than $200,000.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. Let me see what the GoFundMe said. They had a link to it right now. Where's it at right now? Holy shit!
How much?
What's it at now?
$343,890.
I could pay for college like 1.5 times.
Damn.
Well, what you need to do is hang out on the freeway with a gas can.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. New plan.
New plan.
Dinner.
Let's see. What is this? I'm trying to find something interesting or funny. What? Oh, okay. This one comes from Chaos Eve.
Nice.
It's sci-fi. Well, it's not really sci-fi because it's real. Company wants to give augmented humans 4 hands each, and they're already available.
Yo, hit me up.
There's a video to this too, which looks kind of cool.
That sounds like somebody wants to make me work more.
I don't know. Ever feel like life would be so much better if you just had an extra hand? How about 2? A company called Eubionic, that sounds like something out of some evil conspiracy movie or something, wants to make extra hands a reality, and it's created a 3D printed pair of hands that you can add to your already existing hand in order to double them, kind of multi-outlet adapter that turns one outlet into many. It might sound like science fiction, but you can actually already buy them, and boy, they are freaky looking. Yeah, they are.
Wait,
here,
let me see a picture.
I'll send a link out here.
Currently I have like a General Grievous type thing in my head right now, but
yeah, well, it looks like it's kind of like a glove that's got. Well, you'll see. Take a look at it. It's kind of like a bracer.
Oh, that doesn't look like it would be helpful at all.
I don't understand that one. As you can see in the video, which you'd have to watch, the grasping motion of each of the artificial limbs is triggered by the wearer's fingers. Closing one half of your real hand causes an entire one of the artificial hands to clasp shut, and the wearer can independently control the movements of both hands.
That only looks like it would be helpful if you had like a really long dick.
Well, I'm trying to think of what the practical application would be, aside from just like having to lift many things that are all in very stationary positions.
You could play twice the amount of piano that you originally could play.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I suppose.
She got artistic on her ass.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Now Bobbitt Jr. will get to laugh at poor people on Black Friday, just like the rest of us rich folk. Yes. Indeed. Yes. The first thing that Mr. Bobbitt's going to do is rush a Walmart, beat somebody up for their flat screen TV so he can go home and watch people beating each other up for flat screen TVs on his flat screen TV.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, man. But still, I mean, that kind of generosity always amazes me, you know? Like, I mean, if I think about the fundraisers for the hurricanes in the last couple months, this guy, you know, people just willing to throw. I mean, and it's the collective, it's the crowdfunding thing. You know, it's people throwing out $2 or $3 that they can spare, and it all turns into quite a lot real quick. It's amazing.
Everyone's doing it.
Okay, and lastly, I'm going to do this one before we get to the top of the hour, because I know Monkey and I... Did you do videos today, Weebo?
I didn't put up a video today, but I was working on one today.
Okay, well, I'll do this one quick so we can get to YouTube time. This one comes from Jordan250, our resident artist. Woman accused... Is she going to suffer any criminal penalties for this, I wonder? Let's find out. Plains Township, Pennsylvania. A township woman charged with lying when she reported she had been raped by a Pennsylvania State Police trooper on Tuesday dropped a restraining order alleging a similar sexual assault by another trooper. Christine A. Cromer, 37, is facing charges of filing false reports for reporting that Trooper Robert Covington, a Bureau of Gaming Enforcement officer, forced himself on her in November 2016 after she tried to break off a relationship with him. Police say... Oh, sorry.
Did you guys get that?
Like the complete silence that he had?
Yeah.
What? No, what?
You went completely silent for a while.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was saying, can you hear me? And nobody answered me either. So it was like the stream went weird for a minute.
Oh. Yeah, no, I could hear Scribe, and then Monkey, you weren't even saying anything. I didn't hear a thing.
Oh, yeah, so we might need to restart the story here.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me make sure that my channel just didn't get terminated.
Oh.
Oh, well, you know, it is a legitimate concern now. Okay, it's still
indeed.
Okay, and we'll talk about that at YouTube time too. All right, let me start over. Plains Township, Pennsylvania. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. A township woman charged with lying when she reported she had been raped by a Pennsylvania State Police trooper on Tuesday dropped a restraining order alleging a similar sexual assault by another trooper. Christine A. Cromer, 37, is facing charges of filing false reports for reporting that Trooper Robert Covington, a Bureau of Gaming Enforcement officer, forced himself on her in November 2016 after she tried to break off a relationship with him. Police say Cromer, who for months posted flyers and sought to publicize her cause, gave, quote, multiple and inconsistent stories about the alleged attack in an unmarked police car outside Mohegan Sun Pocono? I don't even know what that is, where she worked at the time as a cocktail waitress. Prior to being charged, Cromer obtained a temporary sexual violence protection order against Trooper Sergeant Daniel Jones, who interviewed her about the allegations against Covington. In her application, Cromer alleged Jones forced himself on her in a car behind the casino. But in court Tuesday, with a group of investigators prepared to listen intently to her sworn testimony, Cromer announced that she had decided to drop the claim. Jones's attorney, William T. Jones, no relation, of Scranton, said he would vehemently object to dismissal, arguing that dismissal would leave a filing that could tarnish the record of a trooper with a stellar reputation. Exactly. Mm-hmm. After hearing legal arguments, Senior Judge Linda K.M. Ludgate, visiting from Berks County, said dismissing the complaint with prejudice would allow for the record to be expunged and be in line with legal precedent. Cromer did not oppose that resolution. Well, she should be charged with a whole bunch of shit for that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. But she won't be.
Oh, let's see. No, Cromer remains free after posting $30,000 bail following her arraignment last week. She is due back in court for a preliminary hearing today.
Oh, boy.
Good. Well, good. I hope she gets locked up for a while. Thank you, Mule 1066. Sitcom where Cook's assistant Igor Loganov, oh shit, and CPO Casey Rayback retire and buy a boarding house together where they still repel boarders. I understood all of that. Did you understand all of that, Monkey?
I did not.
That went way in my head, which isn't hard because I'm short.
Cook's assistant Loganoff is a character from Hunt for Red October, and CPO Casey Rayback, of course, is Under Siege.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God, Mule, you're my new personal hero. That's great. That's great. Oh man, I'm such a nerd.
Yes, you are.
Cook's assistant Loganoff, sir. I still remember that line. Oh God. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to YouTube time. Sorry we didn't get to more stories. That one, just the Medusa news one, just really caught my brain. So Weebo, what have you been working on? What do you got going for us?
So I'm scripting 2 videos. One of them is a response to Trey Melvin's part 2 for the N-word thing. Dear white people, you know the video. It's like 12 minutes of just pure bleh.
Okay.
And then the other one is Basically, it's like the reverse of Sam Pepper's shenanigans. It's a hashtag everything is sexist video, and I've actually enlisted the help of all of my viewers if anyone wants to. There's like a whole thing on Twitter. I pinned it to my profile if you want to go check that out. But essentially, I'm looking for like 30 seconds of clip from people, men primarily, asking them the question of, if some random strange woman came up to you and grabbed your dick, how would you feel? Essentially. And I'm putting it in the video.
It would depend on how soft her hands are.
Monkey, you're not helping.
I mean, I'm even more petty. Is she pretty? Because if it's a skeezy old wrinkled lady, I'm probably not going to be as excited as if it's like some kind of, supermodel or something.
I guess, fair enough.
Of course, if it's a supermodel, I'm immediately going to assume I'm on candid camera.
Nice.
I don't know that I would be excited either way. Both ways, I'd be like, "What are you doing?" and just push her away.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
Monkey, you did a video today that had some interesting comments, I assume.
I kind of did a video today. I highlighted Drunken Uncle's latest video. If you guys don't watch Drunken Uncle, you really, really should. He is so funny. And if you catch him on the Ghost Poo podcast, he is funny there, but his videos are fucking hilarious. And he covered, very similar to the Trey Melvin video, a video by a girl named Bunny Jones, who was telling us why white people can't say nigger and why white people shouldn't touch her hair and shouldn't ask why if you can touch her hair. Who the fuck is doing that, by the way? Because whoever you are, you need to stop. You're confusing black people and making them think we all do that.
What, touching people's hair?
Touching black people's hair, yeah.
I get my hair touched all the time. It's super soft, so everyone wants to feel it. Same thing with my brother.
Well,
yeah, I do. Oh.
You want to touch her brother's hair?
No, not that. Oh no,
dude.
It's actually even softer than mine. It's like super fine and super blonde. Perfect Aryan specimen right there.
I've dug a hole deeper than North Korea.
But yeah, it's a great video from Drunkle, but because of the context of the video, yeah, some of the comments are just horrible, as you might expect a video about the N-word to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So
has the response been? I mean, at least as far as views,
it's been great actually.
Okay.
There's a couple of thumbs down on it, and like there were 2 last I saw, and I really wish people who thumbs down would leave a comment for fuck's sake, so I know what it is you're bitching about. You just hate me in general because I know there's people out there like that. Or is there actually something you disagree with about the video? If you leave a thumbs down, leave a comment, guys.
Yeah, speaking of which, whoever left the thumbs down, let us know why.
Fucker.
And for those of you that haven't hit the like button yet and feel inclined to do so, I'm not saying you have to, obviously. Yeah, appreciate it. We got 127 people watching and 55 likes. So, something like that. I'm not begging. I'm not starving for affirmation or anything.
Yes, right. Don't lie.
Yeah, I know.
And real quick, I am working. I'm going to try to have another video out tomorrow. I want to talk about Adpocalypse 2.0.
Ah, yes.
Because this one actually pisses me off because it was so predictable. For those of you who don't know, a bunch of advertisers just pulled out of YouTube again, and this time because pedophiles are running around leaving horrible comments on videos about children. Now, most of the videos are innocuous. It's, your kid toy videos. There's some that are kind of fucking weird. Like the one that was highlighted in the article was a little girl in her panties and a little shirt rolling around. There's no reason for something like that to be on YouTube.
Nope.
But a lot of advertisers have been put on these videos and they're seeing these comments from these pedos and they're freaked out by it. And certain of us creators have mentioned to YouTube directly many times, you have a pedo problem.
Yeah.
And it's not just commenters. It's not just commenters. There are look at the Amos Yee video. again, I am all for free speech, but this is a man who literally said it's okay to rub your dick on a baby's ass. That is not free speech. That is criminal behavior. And how that channel remains existent is beyond me. That's the sort of thing YouTube should have been going after, instead of worrying because PewDiePie said nigger and had somebody hold up a sign that said something horrible about Jews. So this one pisses me off because this is what they should have been fighting about. They should have told advertisers last time, you know what, fuck off, you advertise on worse shit than this on television, and been cracking down on this stuff, because why the fuck is it allowed to go on? That's all. I'm sorry.
Okay. WR Costin, thank you. Could non-author do an ad endorsing the Ghost Poo podcast? You want me to make an ad that goes on my other channel? I could do that. It'd be the first thing I posted there in months.
Scribe, you slacker. What the fuck?
Well, it's kind of like I did a bunch of videos talking about my thoughts and or perspectives on BDSM, and the bulk of what I'd have to say is kind of contained in those videos without talking about like my own personal experiences down to the nitty gritty, which it would probably not be for, YouTube type content. So is that what you meant, WR? Or are you just making a joke? I don't know. I mean, I'll do it if you'd like me to. It's no great heavy lifting to do so. I can post it over there. Nobody will see it, like the 100 or so people. Okay. And WR says, could I also get an ad for some other product or service endorsed by non-author Dark on Monkey's channel tomorrow?
We're not on my channel tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not on his channel tomorrow. We're on SDA's, but 6 of one thing, half a dozen of the other, I guess. Endorsed non-author isn't a different character. I don't like talking a different voice or something. It's just me.
You should, Scribe. Ditch the Kermit voice and do something deeper.
Maybe what they mean is that you have like an S&M twist to it.
Well, I just want to make sure. I mean, I want to fulfill the request. I'm not being facetious. I just don't understand. So WR, give me some clarification, because I don't know. Let's see. Oh, for me, today I posted a video, one I've been talking about for several days. It was long. It was 33 minutes, or just over 33 minutes long by the time it was over with. I actually thought it'd be longer than that, but it turns out to be. WR says, Scribelight, I meant for tomorrow for both ads tomorrow. No, I know what you meant. I'm just wondering, what do you mean by non-author Dark doing it? I don't get that part. That's the part I don't get. So my
sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Oh, you heard her, Scribe, go deeper. Yeah, go deeper.
Yeah, you got to talk with a more manly voice like I do.
When I try to do a manly voice in the stereotypical sense, I just get told I sound creepy.
Do it.
Go deeper,
Hi,
Sky.
Weebo. Weebo, do you like this voice, Weebo?
Fuck, that's fucking hilarious.
No,
that's what you want your sexy voice to be, is hilarious.
That's not my sexy voice. That's my like intentionally trying to be like some kind of like phone stalker voice. But
oh my God.
even the only time my deep voice sounds really good, I think, is when I'm like really sick. I did one video a while back where I made a recording when I was really sick and I sounded pretty cool.
Nice.
Otherwise, I sound like Kermit.
I like your voice. I think you're way too hard on the whole Kermit thing. I don't think you actually sound like him. But when you were sick, you were sexy as fuck, dude.
I know, right? Schoolboy says, Scribelight, what's your fet life? Oh, yeah, let me just dox myself now. Yeah, WR, seriously, give me some clarification on what you mean by non-author, because I want to know. Anyway, so I did a video today. What?
Real quick, you don't have to donate to give that clarification. Just throw it in a regular comment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just throw in a regular comment. I'm paying attention to the regular comments. I got the requests. Those are fine. I just need clarification on the thing. You can just post it and I'll... Anyway, video today was a diversity in the workplace conference video. It was a women's conference, but the speaker was a man named Wade Davis, a former football player, I guess. I kind of remember his name. Thank you, Cryptic. Ad for Return of the Mac song remake by Mark Morrison, but sub in SDA. Return of the Mac song remake. I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Mac song remake?
Return of the Mac? No.
Return of the Mac. I have
drawing a blank here.
no idea. Mark Morrison. I will. That is a research ad. I will see what I can do. But sub in SDA. So SDA is the singer. Then I take it. An ad for a song. Okay, that'll be a first. WR has not clarified yet. Anyway, so Wade Davis, a former football player, feminist, and inclusion consultant, this is his own personal resume on the video, spends about 12-15 minutes talking about the evils of having to make the business case for diversity and inclusion.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't understand
So
it. He said, oh, sorry. WR Costin says, Scribe Light, do the ads in an alternate identity. Take it where you will. Sorry, slow typer. Huh.
Oh.
So I have to
That leaves it up to you. You can get...
I have to come up with a character. Okay. Okay,
No,
WR, I'll see what I can do.
You just have to
do it in your creepy voice.
You know, that's my only thing is that I don't know if I want to brand my BDSM channel with a creepy voice. I mean, that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point, but I'll try to come up with something, WR. Anyway, so yeah, he spends the video basically saying that if you have to go ask your boss, or if your boss at all gives any pushback to a proposal of a diversity and inclusion initiative, that pushback or that request for a business case, as in a request for proof that this will be a benefit to the company, is essentially a form of saying not only is the idea of diverse people, as we've been told to define them, a bad one, but that the person making the pitch is being devalued for being questioned on the notion. Now that's my capsule summary of what he promotes in this video. There's a bunch of other stuff too that's just amazing, but yeah, this guy's a paid public speaker. He was the I looked up later. Apparently, he was like the head of the diversity initiative in the NFL writ large. So this, I mean, even though in the video he comes across kind of all over the place, he has been in service to very broad-ranging corporate changes in the sports world. So that's why I decided to do a video on him, because I thought, okay, this isn't just some guy doing a TEDx talk. This is someone who's all over the place. So yeah, it was a confusing shit show from the beginning. But I was able to fit in a Quantum Leap joke and 2 Jaws jokes, which I was happy about.
Nice.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was that. I've got a couple other videos scripted that I'm debating about one or the other, because one might be weaker than the other for fun's sake. But I might have something else out before the weekend's over if I get really ambitious. And that's all of my stuff. And of course, I'll have ads ready for tomorrow night. But YouTube drama, we had such a breaking news thing last night with all of these channels being terminated seemingly. Team Coco, Mr. Repsion, Styx, Drama Alert. Who else was there? There was a couple others that I'm forgetting. iDubbbz, that's right.
Miley Cyrus Vivo, I think.
Yes. And all of those, to the best of my knowledge, have since been restored completely.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Repsion's was the last I heard about. He was having trouble getting his back, but yeah, that was finally restored earlier today.
Yeah, so conceivably, and I don't know if YouTube's released any kind of official statement yet, but conceivably it was all just some kind of weird glitch.
It's a hell of a glitch.
It is a hell of a glitch to have someone's, random, seemingly, unless there's some connection we just don't know on the algorithm side of things, seemingly a group of people or channels that really don't have anything to do with each other in some cases, just completely wiped off the face of the earth. It's amazing and kind of weird.
Oh, Drama Alert was the other one. Did we mention that?
Yes, I mentioned Drama Alert.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still curious to see if YouTube's going to say anything officially. As far as I know, they haven't. I mean, maybe they will.
Well, actually, at this point, I think they probably have bigger fish to fry with the whole child pornography shit.
What companies pulled out their ads Do you know?
Lindy, I think is the name of the one. Oh God, what are the? There were some big ones. Shit, I'd have to find the tweet.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so that happened last night. There was, of course, speculation, like every time something like this happens, that it was YouTube doing a ideological purge of certain ads who put out ideas they didn't agree with. But then, of course, when we found out that Conan O'Brien and Miley Cyrus were also hit by this thing, that put some doubt in that notion.
Yeah, and they don't strike me as the type of like company to do it so blatantly. They would do it more subtly. Let's be real.
Here's a list of some of the companies. Mars and Cadbury both did. Lindell, however you say that. Deutsche Bank and Adidas.
Oh, geez.
Not Adidas. I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Adidas, all day I dream about sex.
Scribe, we already know. Chill.
That's the name of a song.
Shh. Keep it in your pants, boy.
But the song...
In your pants.
Yes, ma'am. Because women aren't dominant.
See, Monkey, I can be dominant.
That's right. Yeah, so things are fixed. So, again, seemingly it's not some grand conspiracy to silence people or deplatform anybody. It was a glitch. Like Weebo said, if they're going to deplatform anybody, it's going to be through, like, shadow banning and just not advertising your stuff for you. So, any other YouTube dramas? Oh, wait, wasn't there some kind of a feud going on between Sinatra and Real?
Yeah, they're arguing over something.
Okay. And then I did see Sinatra asked Real if he'd go on Kumite. Oh,
did he?
Yeah.
Doesn't Sinatra have drama like every week or so?
I don't know. Hey, Monkey, you and I should go on Kumite.
We should. What should we fight about?
Oh, there's some movie or something we disagree about. I think there's something. Oh, you know what? Actually, just for the fans, we should go on there and do cereal with soup.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
that would work.
Yeah, we should totally go on there and do that. That'd be fun.
I was shit posting as I do in the Minions stream that Lady Monkey was on right before our show, and I brought up cereal with soup, and I think it was Reggie Reject who was hosting, and they typed into chat. We're not doing that. So that became a challenge. And let me assure you, before the next 10 minutes was up, they were talking about cereal being soup.
Yes.
I win again.
It's an infectious thought is the problem. Let's see. So yeah, no more YouTube drama that I know of. Do we anything else, or do we want to do a deep topic from, I don't know, The Root or Everyday Feminism or something?
I don't have anything else at the moment, so whatever you want to do, dude. I'm game.
You got any ideas, Weebo, or should I just...
No. My life is uninteresting, which I like it that way.
Well, uninteresting, but at the risk of sounding creepy or anything, or maybe lecherous old man, that picture you posted of your Thanksgiving get-up, you look purty.
I look what?
Purty.
Oh, thank you.
You look very purty.
Wait, you posted a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was all done up.
I never see your tweets.
Yeah, she's in makeup and she had like a red dress on. Her hair was done. It was, oh, yeah, she's pretty.
I'm very good at doing that. Looking pretty, that is.
Let's see. We already talked about the fat shame-free Thanksgiving. So I don't want to. Okay, I don't even know what this story is about, but I can't help but be pulled in by the headline. Tell me if you think this makes any sense. And this is actually a story that was apparently posted last year, but of course I've never heard about it before. 4 things getting doxxed taught me about being a fat person.
What?
Okay.
Where is the connection?
I know.
Find out.
What the connective tissue is between those two concepts, I'm dying to know. Oh, and there's a trigger warning.
Of course there is.
Eating disorder, online harassment, mentions of encouragements of suicide, and anti-fat slurs. Okay. Okay, this is an auspicious date to start out this story. On April 1st, 2015, my cell phone suddenly became flooded with text messages that I presumed at the time to be spam. I don't mean like a few annoying texts here and there throughout the week. This was nothing remotely reminiscent of the emoji narratives your drunken ex might send after a long night at the bar. I'm talking thousands of illegible messages per minute with follow-through links and incomprehensible gibberish akin to word font options consisting purely of symbols. Oh, like Zaf Dingbats. Remember Zaf Dingbats? My device would beep uncontrollably every couple of seconds, so trying to delete the text proved pretty much futile. I took my cell to the Mac store later in the day, concerned that the phone would set itself on fire if the texting continued. It might be a virus, the tech rep told me. Have you watched any illegal videos on it? I hadn't, and he looked as puzzled as I felt. A few hours later, okay, let's get to the meat of this. This lasted for about 24 hours with a few sporadic emails and texts coming through in the days that followed. I worried less and less, though, telling myself that I must have accidentally subscribed to some kind of sketchy listserv. That is, until my bank account was hacked later in the week. When I signed on to online banking to check my finances, I noticed a couple $1,000s worth of shoe purchases had sent me into serious overdraft territories. I looked down at my feet, my beloved 3-year-old Dr. Martin boots, worn and tatty. As much as I could appreciate some artfully crafted footwear, I had never indulged my sartorial fancies quite to that degree. Someone's trying to show off their English major, sounds like.
Word salad.
Okay, let me get down to this. Can you get to the point? Holy
Probably
shit.
not.
Okay. No, that's more stories about... All right, she spends 3 pages talking about all this random stuff that happened. Okay, she was doxxed. How was she doxxed? She doesn't know. Well, were you trying to be anonymous? Okay, well, anyway. Being doxxed reminded me of the capacity humans have for inflicting unnecessary pain, yes, but it also taught me the following about my fat life. Okay, this ought to be enlightening. Number 1, my existence will always bother some people.
What?
Well, I mean, if you're up in their space in the airplane, yeah, maybe.
You don't exist as a fat person. I'm sorry to say, you're essentially choosing to be, short of some very specific and very rare medical conditions. You're only fat because you're not working harder to get rid of it.
No, she's just fat because she's big boned.
Okay, number 1, my existence will always
she has the big bones in her ass.
Whenever I step out into the world in a bikini or crop top or anything that doesn't hide my fatness, I'm aware that the sight of my body will be enough to make some folks uneasy. Well, you might not be wrong, but at the same time, that's self-imposed discomfort. Don't know what to tell you. This might manifest in judgmental but silent gazes from across the street. Yes, you're a mind reader now, of course. It might manifest in being called a cow or pig or donkey by a group of people on the subway.
Donkey?
A donkey? What is
donkey was slang for fat?
Is Gordon Elliott on your subway?
I did not know that was slang for fat. Now I have a whole new...
Sorry, Gordon Elliott. I meant Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Elliott was a completely different talk show. I was like, shit, I got my Gordons mixed up. Sorry, my British Gordons. There's Gordon Elliott, there's Gordon Ramsay. I meant Gordon Ramsay.
Scribe, you two together. Come on.
I'm losing my mind. It might result in someone screaming, "Get diabetes!" if I dare eat a sweet treat while sporting something that shows off my cellulite.
Hey, diabetes runs in her family. Well, actually, no one runs in her family, but that's not the point.
Oh!
Well played, Whipple. Well played.
Nice. And when I post a photo of myself onto the internet, clad in a galaxy print bikini or a shirt that reads, "I'm morbidly obsessed with myself." What? You're proud of this. What are you talking about? If you don't have any problem posting pictures of yourself in revealing clothing, then why is this a problem for you? I mean, if you're fat and proud, then what does it matter what other people think? I mean, isn't that the whole point?
How dare they have their own opinions? That's why.
Or how dare they be interpreted as having their own opinions by this woman's mind reading? Or the donkey. I've never heard donkey as reference to someone who is fat.
When you're just old.
I've heard donkey referred... Sorry.
How does Donkey relate this to getting doxxed?
I don't.
Where is the connection?
I don't know. I maybe I skipped over it or something because she just. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. But my partner did what any anxious millennial might do in this scenario. He turned to Google. He searched the deepest pits of cyberspace, I'm sure he did, for my name and information, eventually coming across a Marie Southard Ospina section on a doxing site. Is that the name of the author?
He searched the deep web of Kiwi Farms.
Apparently so. Let's see. Doxing is an extreme form of online harassment whereby your personal details are published with the intent of seriously fucking up your life. That sounds like an official definition. Under my name or email address, or my email addresses, my phone number, details of everywhere I had ever lived, my partner's family's hometown, the address of the home where I was raised, and where my single mother still lives today. Are you sure you didn't just look in the white pages? Because they do that now. They cross-reference, like, closest associates and stuff like that. Oh, wait, sorry. Beneath every name on the site was also a reason for their presence. These included gay, feminist, feminazi, liberal, and dyke, among others. My reason was simply fat. I guess I don't understand, but then I don't
Donkey.
dox people. When I think of donkey, if I hear someone refer to another person as a donkey, it's usually because they're being stubborn. That's what I think of when I think of donkey.
Maybe they're just being stubbornly fat,
or rude, or just destructive or something. Not fat, but
Scribe. Okay. Stop. Mitigating her lived experience. Bigot.
Okay, what's your second reason? Anyone who doesn't believe in size discrimination needs to reevaluate. Now, I believe in size discrimination. If I look at somebody and they're morbidly obese, I think that they probably have a very low self-control. And I know people who have that problem who will admit they have a self-control problem, which is why they're in the situation they're in. It's not necessarily a character flaw, but it is something that needs to be addressed.
Of course.
I don't know. It doesn't believe in size discrimination. Same thing with somebody, if I see them, they're super, super skinny. I think that, well, either they have a condition or they've got anorexia, and I worry for them. I mean, when I see people who are on either end of the weight spectrum, my first thought is that's unhealthy. That's not good for their body. In the case of an overweight person, it's not good for their heart. In the case of an underweight person, it's not good for your heart. Yes. So there's you're talking about discrimination. Like, well, I don't know. It depends on what you're referencing. It's like, am I going to hire the fit person to be a firefighter versus the morbidly obese person? Yeah, I'm going to size discriminate. Hate to tell you.
Hey, that fat person will have come in like a wrecking ball to that building.
Oh.
Sorry, I just can't stop myself.
You're winning tonight.
I'm on a roll. Man, and so was that fat person.
Oh man,
you're all over that roll.
You are Charlie Sheen levels of winning tonight. Let's see. Number 3, being a visible fat person online can be dangerous. Being a person online can be dangerous. Doesn't matter if you're fat.
Wait, what's dangerous about being a visible fat person?
There's a reason that a lot of fat individuals don't post their email addresses on their blogs or Twitter bios. There's a reason that a lot of us don't share full body photos on our social media pages. Okay, what's the reason? Usually the goal probably isn't to trick you or convince you that we are actually thinner than we appear. Rather, we've likely learned that staying in the shadows and shrinking our personalities and waist sizes alike is one way to guarantee self-preservation. Harassment targeted at fat people isn't escapable in real life, but as with most forms of harassment, something about the internet seems to give people a free pass to be their worst selves. When my image was stolen by Project Harpoon...
What?
Oh my God. I shouldn't laugh at that, but fuck.
I know. Okay. One of these Facebook groups specializing in fat people shaming and Photoshop to make my body appear thinner, I remember feeling violated. Wait, wasn't there... Haven't we seen photos where they took... Hold on a sec, real quick. Wasn't there like a theme for a while of taking pictures of thin celebrities and fattening them up because they make them look like real women?
They did that with cartoon characters too.
Was it cartoon characters? Maybe I'm misremembering.
No, I think they might have done it with famous people too, but I know they did it with cartoon characters. I know they did it with comic book characters.
Okay.
They probably did it with a lot more. I just can't remember them right off the top of my head.
What were you gonna say, Monkey?
Is she like some fat acceptance person?
I mean, you would, by the fact that she's posting photos of herself online in skimpy bikinis, it would seem as though she doesn't have a problem broadcasting images of herself online, and yet she's saying that having been doxxed means it's dangerous to be a fat person.
Well,
what I don't understand is, if it wasn't dangerous when you were doing it before you were doxxed, how is it any more dangerous now?
Well, I'm not suggesting what she's saying didn't happen, but okay, yeah, some people might be fucked up and just post, oh, look at this fat person. But typically when I see that, it's because somebody is one of these fat acceptance jackasses.
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure. So her complaint about this is that her picture of her fat self was photoshopped to make her a thin person. And she says, I remember feeling violated. The image looked so much like a younger version of myself, one riddled with an eating disorder and growing physically more unhealthy by the day. So someone... What?
I've heard this before about the whole, well, I had an eating disorder when I was younger and thin. There is a medium ground. You don't have to be a giant fat ass, nor do you have to have anorexia or bulimia. You can eat normal.
Okay, you know what number three was being a visible fat person online can be dangerous. You know what number 4 is?
What?
What's that?
Being a visible fat person online is so important.
What?
Okay, so she's fighting a dangerous war. She's a hero, you see. Putting her picture out there, she's taking a risk, but it's also the brave thing to do. Even though it can be scary at times, there's no doubt in my mind, post-doxing, that being a visible, unapologetic fat person on the internet is hugely important.
Hugely.
She says that
pick your adjectives.
It's massively important. What are you talking about? Why stop there?
It's gargantuanly important. There will most likely...
important.
Donkey important, yeah. Don Quixote. There will most likely always be folks out there trying to tell us to shut the fuck up, to go back to our burritos, and allow the advancement of homogenous aspirational beauty narratives to continue to dominate the world.
Hold up. Why burritos?
Mexican shaming.
How dare?
Mexican shaming.
I like a good burrito as much as the next, presumed trap. I was going to say presumed trap, but that works too.
No, you mean cultural appropriator?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. It's people such as these that contribute to the fat shaming so ingrained in society at large.
She's not helping.
The kind we see on television, in cinema, in glossy magazines. But there will always be more people who need your voice. There will be fellow fats who don't realize that they are free to live their lives to the fullest at this very moment. So no so-called body transformation required. Okay, either she's doing that intentionally or she's just trolling. Like I don't know. I'm done. It's the bottom of the hour, guys. Chat, it is your time. Last half hour. If you have Black Friday stories of horror that you'd like to share with us, we'd like to hear those too. But questions, comments, complaints are all fair game. Skeptic Simba, thank you so much. Photoshop is the new liposuction.
Oh, let me get me some of that.
As far as dating sites are concerned, yes. Let's see. Jack Cochran says, do fatty models need thicker paper for their magazines?
Jesus.
Oh, boy. C3 section says, Monkey, what did being doxxed teach you about your totally manageable faults?
Well, technically, I wasn't doxxed. Somebody tried real hard, so I'm still learning about my faults.
When do you think you'll stop learning about your faults, Monkey?
What's that?
When do you think you'll stop learning about your faults?
I'm not convinced I have any.
Oh, of course. Not the great ranting monkey.
You haven't seen The Rock.
Okay, so I that's not a flaw. That's a
flaw.
That's a personal failing, monkey.
Mm-hmm. How dare you?
Have you seen The Rock, Weebo?
I have seen The Rock.
I've seen even Weebo's seen The Rock.
Hey! I watch movies all the time. Of course, I've seen The Rock.
Let's. Oh, sorry.
Not that I don't love Weebo, but I don't live my life by her standard. She hides her penis. I'm proud of mine.
Well, you couldn't live your life by her standard anyway, because you need to be at least this tall to get on the ride.
Wait, no. How does that one work? Scribe.
Yeah, well, so you have to go to an amusement park and not be mistaken for one of the actors.
Which amusement park?
Never mind.
Oh wow! I just looked at Weebo's picture. Yeah, that is really pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Not that you're not always really pretty, but that's really nice.
Oh. Let's see. Jack Gunsky says, if people are this delusional, shouldn't we just let these people kill themselves?
Well,
no.
It's not for me. It's not even about them killing themselves, because frankly, you can't stop people from doing dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with the fat acceptance movement is what it's doing to other people.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like encouraging people to get cancer. We would never, ever put up with encouraging people to get anorexia or bulimia. But hey, you want to eat until you die, that's cool.
Yeah, if you have some horrible disease, don't go get treatment. That's basically, it's sort of like anti-vaxxing. Yep. It's like, oh, you have this problem that you could do something about, but we're telling you doing so is buying into that conspiracy theory of you can only get healthy if you're not obese.
Oh my God. I have such the anti-vax story that happened yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will be right back. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Tell us the anti-vax story from yesterday.
So I already posted this on Twitter, but so my uncle came over after we were finished eating. So this wasn't during Thanksgiving dinner. This was after Thanksgiving dinner. But we're sitting down, we're having drinks, we're talking and stuff. And he starts talking about anti-vaccinations and this new study from Yale and how vaccinations have been proven to cause autism. I'm like, okay, let me look at that study, because if that was the case, I would have seen this. I would have changed my entire tune. Shit would be a lot different. So I was reading through it on his phone, and I look at the actual study, and like right there within the abstract, it's like, this was a correlational study based on how soon after they got the vaccinations that children were diagnosed with autism. I'm like, there are like 8 different things I can pick out off the top of my head reading this just out loud that, disprove this entire thing. And then he goes into how 9/11 was an inside job.
Okay, well, there you go.
So that's my Thanksgiving shenanigans.
Well, it was an inside job in the sense that the flames inside the buildings brought them down.
Yeah, and the planes went inside the building.
That too, it was an inside job. See,
yep,
the planes went in and brought it down. Let's see. Next 6 minutes asked, have you ever set your microwave clock? Yes, I have.
Always. Of course.
It's not too difficult. Let's see. Moving on. Really, the autism argument, says Zenith. Yeah, I thought I'd be curious to know if you still had that thing, what the date on that supposed paper was, because that was pretty much shot down a while ago. And of course, the first clue was a correlative study.
Yeah, and I'm like,
causative study
does not equal causation. Like, what?
Point Curation says 7-Eleven was an inside job. Yes, you're right. Dead Mice Venom says, Black Friday was and is always AIDS. Went to the store to find people shouting and screaming at each other over electronics at the local electronics store. Lol. Yeah, I've seen it before myself.
I've not, and I went Black Friday shopping today for the first time ever, and it wasn't too terrifying. Granted, I did go later in the afternoon when it was like 1. Yeah, so I probably missed everyone. That was crazy.
James Colley says, saw 2 church-going grandmother types fight over a vacuum cleaner. They were playing tug-of-war and cursing at each other. Too damn funny. Yeah, that's... Seriously, people are nuts.
Sorry about that.
Let's see. Heaven Nunya says, here's the thing with vaccines. Read up on them. Don't give your kids a vaccine just because the doctor says to. Look at them, weigh the pros and cons, make an educated decision. I'm not against the idea, but, if they've been proven effective for decades, just get it over with. Especially the MMR triple shot. That's a good one. Leplérome. Leperlome, if I'm saying that right. I screwed it up the other day on the Punisher thing. I said Le Pomeroy because my eyes were going too fast over the chat. I was very anti-vaxxing until anti-vaxxing until a person close to me lost hearing from one day to the next after a flu shot. Now I'm more cautious on it.
Was it like a double negative or?
Yeah, so now they believe in some possibility of vaccines causing deafness.
If you're a grown person who doesn't want to get your flu shot, more power to you. If you've never had the flu, let me tell you that the shot is fucking worth it. But when it comes to your kids and getting vaccines, vaccinate your damn children.
Point Curation says, what do you guys do to deal with depression? You're listening to it.
I don't have depression. I don't have any emotional failings that make life difficult. I mean, yeah, sure, there's like the monthly, oh, I'm hormonal and depressed and I feel like I want to kick people and not feel sorry about it, but I know that that is a result of the fact that there is a hormonal imbalance, and the fact that I'm aware that that's the case makes it easier to kind of just ignore it and focus on the other stuff. I mean, what I do is in order to avoid the emotional baggage shenanigans, I do focus a lot on like working and homework and stuff. I mean, so if that would be a good answer, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't get depressed. I get sad, but I don't get depressed. So, well, I have a little bit with this whole thing with my neck, and mostly what I do is remind myself how much worse life could be, and then throw on some good music and chill till I feel better.
Oh, I will say this: if you put on epic music, shit gets a lot better a lot quick.
Yeah, I've lived with depression and anxiety most of my adult life. It's managed now much better than it was a couple years ago due to medication, which I resisted doing for the better part of 2 decades because I didn't want to experiment with my brain. But life became simply about existing and not about living or enjoying anything. And I knew that I had to do something. And so I lucked out. The first medication I tried was a magic bullet. I know that I'm very lucky in that regard. It's not the usual case for a lot of people. I also combined the medication with going to actual counseling and trying to figure out if there was something else going on. That's a longer story I've talked about before, but yeah, depression sucks. It's something you can't control. You have to manage it. You don't get over it when it's happening. I know a lot of people that can't, but I was able to remain functional in the real world in spite of it. That didn't make it go away. That just made it not visible, which sometimes is worse. So yeah, I could go on for a long time, but I've done streams on it before, so I'll move on.
Your story there is exactly why I generally say I don't get depressed, because I've never had that kind of feeling. The closest I've had is with this the amount of pain, especially early on. There were times I seriously thought, I'd rather be dead right now. And one of the hardest things I ever had to do was when you go to the doctor, they give you this little paper you have to fill out every time you're there. And one of the things is, have you had suicidal thoughts? And having to check that box was rough, to put it that way. And but even with that, I mean, I've never had what I would call like crippling depression or the feeling like I don't even know what it is that you feel when people say they have depression. So yeah, for me, it's sadness. Even with the pain, it was just the pain, not that I don't like my existence. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm expressing that right.
Well, the closest analogy I can give to people who have never experienced it, and it doesn't even come close to truly describing it, is an emotional migraine. It's like you have this. You can't do anything about it. All you can do is just kind of sit and wait for it to pass. And it's there, and it's just thrumming away inside your head. And it makes the whole world it kind of blots out the rest of the world, and you're focused only on that pain until it passes. And it may be a temporary thing, or you might have cyclical things. With chronic depression, it's kind of a constant. It kind of ebbs and flows in worse and better days, but it's always kind of there under the surface. I don't have any other way to describe it, really. And it's, I understand that people that don't have it can easily say it doesn't exist, or that it's a myth, or people are making it up, or you're just, wussing out or something else. I can only tell you that is not the case. And if you don't have it, I'm glad you don't. I honestly would not wish this upon someone, even if I hated them when it happens, because it's not fun. Cryptic, thank you. What do the mafia and pussies have in common? One slip of the tongue, and you're in deep shit. Oh!
Nice.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Scribe, you?
I know plenty about the mafia.
This is your daily reminder. We don't lick butthole. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, do not tongue butter the turtle caves, and certainly do not go on other streams and ask them if they like tongue buttering turtle caves. We do not promote that at all.
You don't condone that behavior?
No.
We do not condone that behavior.
Yeah, Monkey and I will actually argue over the benefits of that entire notion on Kumite after we get the whole cereal soup thing over.
Yes, there you go.
The undercard for the cereal is soup debate will be tongue buttering turtle caves, good or bad for society.
So I have a question. Where did the whole turtle cave thing come from exactly? Because I think this was before I found you guys.
So it's actually a combination of two different things. Tongue butter actually was one of my earliest ads that I did. So I forget what it was that somebody wanted, they asked for, but the ultimate product name was tongue butter.
It came about because of a joke on the stream. I had made a joke about spitting on vagina when it's dry. And the next night you had an ad where you had to do something about that, and you came up with tongue butter as a euphemism.
Yes. And then the turtle cave thing was describing trying to come up with slang for buttholes or something.
We were trying to we were trying to come up with a nice way to say butthole, because the word butthole has always just struck me as and somebody mentioned a turtle head poking out, and SDA just did not get the reference.
Yeah, and I said turtle cave.
Yeah.
And so we'll call it turtle cave. Try to find a way to say something nasty in an innocuous way. So turtle cave. Oh, yeah, that was funny.
All right.
So tongue buttering the turtle cave kind of came about later on as I combined those two together in a funny way, and then it became a thing.
All right. I feel educated now.
Well, they became a combined thing when Bering started a stream at the same time we did.
Oh, yeah.
And to be a jackass, I told the chat not to go over there and ask him about tongue buttering turtle caves.
Yeah, there you go. And then I honestly wish we had like a compilation clip of all of the streams on other people's channels that have had to mention that out loud, like Mr. Repsion did, and Sargon
did.
Lady Monkey tried to do that.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she spent like 2 hours, and then eventually she looked at me and she goes, "Fuck this! I can't do it. There's just too much."
Dang, well, I'm glad. I'm glad that she went to the effort. I appreciate that. I should have been recording that stuff, because people send us screenshots of like the streams they did it at and kind of showed like when it happened, kind of stuff. Like Sweeper and other people would screenshot their super chat that showed that. You could kind of tell where they were, and I don't know. There's so many now that I couldn't even tell you. Sorry, guys, I'm missing out on this stuff here. Let me scroll up a bit. Let's see. Life is Peachy 1996 says, depression summed up. A voice in your brain that tells you that you are shit. Everything you do is shit. Everything you will be or do will be shit. And that voice is scarily your own. Yes, in a way. Like I say, I could spend a long time talking about that. Let's see.
See, it's great to have an ego like mine.
Honestly,
yes.
Same.
Wow. And I'm the opposite. I have no ego. No, I don't have no ego. I just have a very downtrodden one by my own hands.
That still love you, Scribe.
It sounds like a masturbation reference. It wasn't. I swear.
I do joke about it, but I have a very healthy ego. And there's times that I rub people the wrong way for that, and luckily
Usually
it's not
your
too
wife.
many. So, yeah, that was one time. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Only one monkey, you slacker.
But I consider myself very lucky that happened to me, that this massive ego of mine did, because the idea of not liking myself is so foreign to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very thankful for that, because I've seen people who aren't, and I don't know how they deal with life. I really don't.
Well, in my case, I wouldn't say it's not liking myself. It is self-doubt magnified to a horrific degree. And I guess you could say, well, that is kind of like not liking yourself, but there's a distinction there. Again, I could go on. I don't want to clog the stream with all this downtrodden stuff.
Yeah, but I get the difference between self-doubt and not liking yourself. Those are two different things. I know people who are, whether just shy or for whatever reason, are filled with self-doubt, and I get that. I do.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Terry Diamante says depression stream. Well, we did that one time, like a tailed feature, and I think one of the first streams I did was with tailed feature, and we talked about that because he was dealing with it too. So it's in the library way back if you're curious, because I think everything I could possibly say now about it I said back then. Let's see. Sanguine says, I at once love and hate myself. It just depends on the situation. Okay. Data Wasteland says, your massive ego adds to your modesty, ranting monkey.
It does. It's part of what makes me great and humble at the same time. Have you ever heard the Mac Davis song, It's Hard to Be Humble?
Oh, so you know who Mac Davis is?
Oh, yeah.
I am the most humble monkey.
Well, then who was that? Was that the song that I was requested to do an ad on?
Mac Davis? I don't believe so.
Did I misread that? I must have.
Maybe it was, and I wasn't paying quite enough attention.
Yeah, it was on here somewhere. Oh yeah, no, Return of the Mac song by Mark Morrison. Sorry, I got confused. Okay, my bad. Life is Peachy says, was there a Twitter fight this year like last year about retail employees bitching about having to work on Black Friday? Maybe. I don't know.
Not that I saw.
I was working on a video most of the day, guys, and dealing with household chore type stuff. Even though I had the day off, I had to be an adult about stuff. So I didn't pay attention to Twitter that much.
When you work in retail, I mean, it's kind of to be expected that at some point Black Friday will be around the corner.
Yeah. Well, here's a tip though. If you're working retail, don't bitch about it on your social media.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because I mean, it's like, oh, my job sucks. I got to go work on Black Friday. Well, that's okay. We don't need you next year.
Ouch.
Let's see. Todd Packer says, I used to like myself all the time, but now that I'm older and in my mid-30s, I only do it about 3 times a week at most. Oh, you got a schedule for it? It's like, oh, it's Tuesday. I will like myself today. Yay!
Those are rookie numbers, man. You got to pump them the numbers up.
Let's see. G. Bronert B says, Friday of Color. Yeah, well, that's basically what that author was saying. It's not Black Friday. It's a Friday of Color. Let's see. Cryptic says, why do women have orgasms? Just another reason to moan, really. Jesus.
That's funny.
Bloodwing says, oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. Was that Mary Poppins song?
No, it's a song by Mac Davis called It's Hard to Be Humble, and that's the chorus. It's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. Can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day.
I do. I really do.
Me too.
God. You guys.
You should listen to the song if you've never heard it. It's awesome.
Oh, my leg's falling asleep. Oh my God, my leg is so bored of sitting like this.
Tell it to wake up.
I know, now it's all pins and needles.
Get with the program, Scribe's leg.
If your leg's asleep, you better not be touching it without its permission.
Oh, phantom leg. Let's see.
I will report you.
Ooh. Scribe sexually assaulted his own leg.
Yes.
I don't want to work together anymore, man.
It's my property, thank you.
That's slavery?
Yes, my leg is a slave to my body.
You are so problematic.
I hate that fucking word.
Point Curation says, sometimes I feel like Johnny Cash in Sunday Morning Coming Down. Something tells me that's not a happy song because I don't know that one off the top of my
Oh, I love Johnny Cash.
head. G. Bronner B says, "Get your legs consent to wake it."
Yes.
No.
That's what the SJWs have done to this world.
I know. Hey, leg. Hello, leg.
Hey, take responsibility for your own actions, gentlemen.
Oh, leg, you feel so numb. I shall massage you back into attentiveness.
Oh yeah.
Oh, baby.
Do it again slower.
Stick it in a plant.
That calf. Oh, that muscular calf from all that walking.
Oh my God! Were you guys following that crazy bitch on Twitter today?
Which one?
There are so many. I can
Yeah.
choose.
Can you narrow that down a little bit?
About men.
A woman on Twitter bitching about men?
What?
No. This is one who said that if you have a penis, chances are you deserve to die. And yeah, she just has a whole. She actually tells people they should stop being such patriarchs. I was dying listening to this bit or reading this bitch. Where the fuck is she? What's her name?
I hate to tell her this, but we all deserve to die because we all live.
Scribe, now is not the time.
I know, get deep. Cryptic, thank you. What do you call a guy with a small dick? Justin. I think Point Curation probably still has the pun for the night of the because I'm Assad. I'm a Syrian dictator. So I'm Assad.
What about all my puns?
Gregory Hurst, thank you. Scribe's leg in discomfortably numb. Yeah, no, my leg is not the subject of a Pink Floyd song or reiteration thereof. What else? Captain Bramble says, "Oh, leg, you feel so numb. I will massage you back till the feeling comes." Okay, massage your back until the feeling comes. Okay. Let's see. I hate problematics. Only drive problem manuals.
That was good.
Well played. I'll give him that. Well played.
That might be tying with Point Curation for pun of the night. Oh boy, guys, we got 4-minute warning. 4 minutes left to go.
4 minutes left. That's it. Wow, this is going fast.
Yeah, time flies when we're talking about depression.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Life is Peachy says, "Scribe Light, is discomfortably numb part of the dark side of the moon?" No, it's dark side of the moon poon.
Dark side of the moon.
God.
Moon poon.
Wait, how am I a perv?
What?
I see this in the chat.
Oh, Weebo Jones, Carrick says Carrick. Perv. You're
I'm
a perv.
a little bit of a perv, but like
I hope so.
now in this instance.
Hanging around us, I really hope you're at least now one.
Well, no, I've always been a little bit pervy, but like,
yay!
I agree.
What did I
She's
do
a
this
perv,
time?
but yeah, what's the charge specifically?
I gotta know so I can do it around boyfriend later.
There you go. Oh well, you just need, have you watched the videos on my other channel?
I need to.
Yeah, you should. I'll give you the link.
Hit me up, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Let's do this.
Let's see what else is going on, guys. Oh, what was that, Monkey?
I'm picturing her explaining to her boyfriend that she needs him to watch a channel from some strange dude on the internet about sexual stuff. Hey,
I was president of the bondage club. I'm a certified professional.
Yesterday, actually, I showed him the video of John Sakars, the nude vegan with the guitar and the
my God, yes.
Yeah.
I showed him the whole song, and he just sat there and he took it, and it was my revenge. It was my revenge for when he showed me the Swiftie song, because after I heard that, it never stopped. The Swiftie song from fucking what is it called? Oh, Rick and Morty. There we go.
Nothing for you here says, "Would you be willing, perchance, to tell all of chat that they're beautiful people and someone somewhere loves them?"
I'll take it a step further. I love you, chat. You're all beautiful people.
I love you, chat.
I'd love you if you hold still.
Oh. I'd love you if you stop struggling.
Okay.
Life is PG says, Scribe, back to the discussion last night. Don't you think that Kylo Ren is ripped off from Cade Skywalker and Rey ripped off from Jaina Solo? If you're just talking about character archetypes, you could say they're ripped off from a whole bunch of different things. I mean, Cade Skywalker wasn't quite a, well, like I say, you could make a connection to a whole bunch of different stuff from the EU. I mean, there really was no ground left uncovered from the expanded universe in Star Wars at that point. So you could draw a line from any character to any other character that's now technically non-canon. So, you know, sure, you can do. I mean, it makes as much sense as anything else. Scribe, was that a Gollum imitation? Oh, Outlaw? No, that wasn't a Gollum imitation. This is a Gollum imitation.
You stupid fat hobbits.
Jim Cool says, does the elevator smell different to you? No, it smells just like every other elevator to me.
And lower to the ground, maybe?
I never get on the elevator with other people on it. I don't like people in enclosed spaces.
All right. Well, on the note of claustrophobia in elevators, that is it for the stream tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Chat, thank you for coming along as you do every night and keeping us company and keeping things interesting. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Everyone who donated, thank you so much. I'll be working on those to have them ready for tomorrow night's show. Remember, tomorrow night's show is on SDA's channel. She'll be back from her Thanksgiving holiday and will be taking over the Saturday night slot. Let's see. If you haven't already, take a look at Weebo's channel. Link is down in the description. Her Twitter's also there too if you'd like to follow her shenanigans and her occasionally pretty pictures. Monkey, I almost said SDA. I'm sorry, habit. Monkey, Weebo, thank you for joining me tonight as always. Appreciate it. Guys, your lives make us chronically depressed. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.